Hey, hey, people. I'm back. Thought I'd come in and say hi again. I'm bored as fuck right now. It's starting to get a little warm now, finally. I was proud of having a cool morning. Or get the fuck off my screen. There we go. Come on, come on. Check it out. Check it out. Seems like it takes you about 2, 3 minutes to get in my live stream sometimes. I wonder if that's how long it's taking for y'all to get the notifications on it and all. YouTube is so screwed up lately. They're too busy getting ready to screw us out of our rights and our freedoms, too. I have a feeling. That's what all this updating shit's for. I think we need to get someone uh, working on their own, working on a site for us so we can have our own little media center. Because I think YouTube's about to censor us. I really do. Um, that's why they're doing all these updates. I think they also knew that law was going to pass in California. Honestly, it's scary to think that California passed that law. More people will come in and see that you're all right, huh? uh, you are loved, and we were all worried about you. I don't know why people ain't here, but there must be someone else on streaming that I don't know about. Okay, hon, I understand how that goes, Miss Constitutional. Hi, Rising Sun. Look who's here. Miss Constitutional's here. Which I'm happy to see. I see Rising Sun Media's name. I always want to call it Rise and Shine Media. Hey, Potts, how are you, bro? Where will you be tomorrow, Miss Constitutional? Hey, Tex Rose, how are you, hon? that's But Miss C, tell us where you be. Hickman, Kentucky. Why are you going to Hickman, Kentucky, Miss Constitutional? And are you? Oh, cool. So you get to see your grandpa. All right, awesome. I'm glad you get to see him. I wish I could see my grandpa again, but the only way I'm going to do that, the only way I'll be able to see my grandpa again is when I die. My grandpa died when I was 7 years old, Pot. So, yeah, he died. He died when I was young too. But I still love the man, and he was a great influence on my life. So, no, I didn't, Miss Constitutional. I guess I need to go back and look at your stuff and see where that is. Um, I did not get to see that audit. Yeah, I remember a lot about my grandpa. I love my grandpa to death. Okay, JoJo68 has an audit from here. I'll look up JoJo68 and check that out. Congratulations, Pot. A lot of people don't get the 4th of July off. Love you too, Rise of Sun Media. You're awesome. All of y'all are awesome. I'm glad Miss Constitutional's back with us and letting us know she's okay and everything. I'll probably have some fun on the 4th. If anything, I'll be sitting on the back of my boat watching fireworks. I hope Big Nick gets a hold of. I hope Big Nick gets a hold of Flo when he calls me. I'd like to set up a march on our state capitol and things like that. Try to get some awareness, you know. But I doubt we'll get too much awareness right now. Our fucking governor for Florida is about a piece of shit, more worried about his political career in D.C. than he is about our future here in our state. I agree, Tex Rose. You'll be making your own fireworks, huh? That'd be cool, Pot. Yes, Miss Constitutional. You be safe. Keep in touch when you can, hon. I'm very glad I got to see you, and thank you for coming. I can tell you, hey, Bullets, hey, Bullet SpongeBob, bro, how you doing? Uh, I can tell you one way you can make some fireworks, Texas Rose. You get a tube, metal tube. Uh, okay, that type of fireworks. Okay, well, I hope you get to have that type of fun too, Pot. But if you want to know how to make your own little fireworks thing, get a metal tube, put some powder in it, and put some Brillo pad with soap on it. That Brillo pad will come out all different sorts of colors. Or put Tide in the powder, and it'll come out all sorts of different colors. It's really cool to watch. Used to do that with a cannon that I had on the 4th of July. Yes, Bullet Sponge Bob, you are right. There you go. That'll work, Pot. It sure will. I understand that, Tex Rose. Boy, it's been nice having this breeze all day long, guys. This breeze been real nice. Gonna come outside and sit down and get in it a little bit. Oh wow, Joe left me some cigarettes. That was nice of Joe. I just found them. Boy, it's brighter out here on this deck, being that this deck's white. Woo! I'm going back inside. Later, Tex Rose. Thanks for stopping in, hon. You try to have a great day at work. Pops, they need to get your shit unbanned because I miss going for rides and walks with you, bro. They need to get your shit unbanned again. That shit's for the birds. Oh, okay. Joe's working on the other boat so they can get it in the river this weekend. Cool. They got a big blue boat that they're trying to get out in the river with it too. He just got a motor for it, so hopefully they'll get it out here. Well, Pods, you need to freaking get on busy, damn it. we I know I've always enjoyed watching you go on your walks and your rides and everything else, bro. You got some pretty countryside up there. Uh-oh. Saying I'm losing, saying I lost some people watching me. Yeah, I agree, Rising Sun. uh, Pot, we've been going through a heat wave since I started doing the walking, so buck up. I'm picking at you, bro. I'm just picking at you. The other day, when I went riding on my bike, by the time I got back from that bike ride, it was 92 degrees and we had 85% humidity that day. So, uh, well, I guess I'm just stupid. Hey, China Lynn, you need to call me. And anybody else who has my number, please call me. My phone glitched out the other day, and I lost all my numbers. I need to write them down. Um, I had them in my phone, and my phone glitched. And I had to redo. I had to do a whole factory reset. Write them all down. So please call me when you get a chance. Um, and all. So I can get my numbers back for y'all. Just don't do it while I'm on. Just don't do it while I'm on stream because you'll call and all I'll get is all you'll get is me talking on the stream because I can't get out of stream and answer a phone. So. All right. Yeah, there you go. Pot did it right. Just text me. Text me if you can. And then I'll get the number. Yep, I just got it, Pot. I was just saying, text me if you can. That way I can get your number and all. And because all my numbers are gone. Stupid damn phone. It froze up on me for some reason, and I couldn't. And the only way I could get it to unfreeze was to do a whole factory reset on my phone. So I think I had too many. Okay, China, no problem. uh, yeah, I could just see that me practicing the piano on the boat. That would be funny as hell. If any of y'all see Will Blankenship before I do, also, yeah, I didn't get the chance to do that. I was thinking about writing them down, and then but my phone froze up on me, and I didn't have any of them wrote down. Like an idiot, I should have wrote them down immediately as soon as I got them. Uh, but uh, um, but my phone froze up on me before I wrote them down, and there wasn't no one freezing the phone. So I tried everything I could to do it without doing a factory reset, but I had to do the factory reset. Yeah, I haven't seen Will in a couple of days myself. Rising Sun. Hope he's doing all right. Some days he has good days. Sometimes he has bad days. Going through that chemo and having that cancer. I really like Will. He's a good guy. I've been there, done that though, Pot. I thought my phone was screwed up, wouldn't get on, and it then come to find out it was just a damn cell tower. I have been there and done that one. I got that T-shirt. Hi, Genty. Genty, text me or call me. I lost all my numbers. For y'all, text me or call me, so I can get my numbers back for y'all. Okay, China Lynn, I understand. Friends are good things. Keep an eye on. We'll talk to you later, hon. I don't know if any of y'all heard my message to our government at the beginning of my live stream. There weren't too many people on then, at least it said it wasn't. But I was telling our government at the beginning of this live stream that we have regressed back to the times of King George, and they need to get a clue, buy a vowel or something. Because things are getting bad, people, with the regression that we have going on here. And if anything, I think we need to start writing emails or some type of correspondence or something to let these people know the regression is not acceptable. Well, Genty, if you see Will Blankenship before I do, please let him know to get back in touch with me. He has my number. Like I said, all my numbers went away when I had to factory reset my phone. And I was stupid and didn't have them all wrote down. So I need them all wrote down. And I will get them wrote down. You know. All right, Genty. But yeah, something needs to happen. I know y'all think emails and things like that are not listened to. If we could get enough number of people stating the same thing about this regression of our government and how it's regressed back to King George's time, they will stand up and listen. I found that out when I was doing the White River watershed and trying to get it shot down. There was 560 plus people sending in emails to the government. And we wound up getting it shut down. It took us 2.5 years to shut it down. But they shut it down. So emails do get listened to, especially if you start sending them to your state governments. State government knows one thing, and that is we the people do vote for their asses. And we the people are the one who help keep them in office or take them out of office. They understand that. Still to an extent. So write them. Don't feel afraid to do it. I know I have. I wrote our state senators and stuff like that about this regression of our government. Sent emails and things like that. But this regression is not acceptable, and it's unconstitutional. What the fuck are they thinking? Allowing like that judge to do what they did to Bao over a freaking misdemeanor? Hello? You know, that's regressing to back to 1776. That's stupidity. And I hope anybody in the government's watching this stream, if there's anybody out there in the government watching this stream, I hope they take that seriously, because that's exactly what they're doing right now. Is regressing to uh, back in King George's time. It's stupid. I thought our government was more grown up than that, but I guess they ain't. Um, the stupidity has gotten way out of control, if you ask me, with our government and our government, our main government, our state governments, and then their lapdogs. And I'm talking about as a lapdog as a cop. So they need to wake up over that. It's getting stupid. I hope someone in the government hears this and understands what I'm saying and maybe might get something done and quit regressing and start progressing again. Oh, good, Pennsylvania. I'm glad to hear that. What's un-American Rising Sun? Us regressing back to a time that was not a very good time in our country's history. I mean, it was a great time because it made us a country, but it was still a dark time in our country because a lot of people lost lives and lost everything. I don't, I don't want to see that regression to that, uh, and all. Yes, I agree, Rising Sun. It is, and That's what our government is doing. Exactly what our government's doing right now. It's regressing um, back back to that time. It's stupid. It's ignorant, and people don't like it. You would think you would learn. They would learn from history. Every time in history a tyrannical government has taken over, uh, bad things happen, and I don't want to see bad things happening. I want to see a great life, you know, a great ending to my life, and I want my kids. I want my kids, their kids, and their kids' kids to have the same great life of freedom that the United States government, well, not the government, but the United States fought for back in 1776, and then again in 1814, we stopped the British from coming up the Mississippi River and trying to take us over again. So we need to quit regressing and progress. I know, Pot. I tell you what, a politician with any scruples anymore would be a scary thing. I thought we had one when we had John McCain get in there, and then I found out a lot about him, and he was just playing a part. He wasn't actually a politician with balls. He's just a guy that played a part and try to keep us satisfied. So, but they do listen to voices. Um, so hey eggs, how are you, bro? Oh, I've seen a lot of what Bernie Sanders did behind the scenes, and he could be bought for a price too. He was bought for a price a couple of times. If he's able to be bought for a price for any given reason, he's able to be bought for a price again for any given reason. So I don't know if um, uh, uh, so honestly, I think our government has gone to hell in a handbasket, and anybody in a political arena has gone to hell in a handbasket. We should go back to the old style way of voting for people, in my opinion, and that's you find someone with integrity in your community, not this bullshit, and throw them into a place that they don't want to be. Because I can tell you now, people who don't want that power, if they don't want it, they're going to do a great job. Okay, and I've seen that in the past. All right, Copper. Jen, you might be getting a visitor. uh, hey, Copper, how you doing, bro? That's something I've seen in the past in different governing bodies. Um, we had when I was living up in Missouri, we had a lady that was voted into a county council member uh, position, and she didn't even know people were voting for her, and she never ran a campaign. She never did anything, and she wound up getting enough votes to get put in that position. And that lady wound up being one of the greatest county commissioners that county's ever had. But she also, as soon as her term was up, she was done with being a county commissioner. But she was also she got a lot of shit accomplished in that county up there. I think that's the way we should do it from now on. Screw this damn big arena bullshit. Start voting people in that would be surprised to be voted in and never ask for it. You'd be surprised the things that get accomplished for your community that way. Because them are also it is Rising Sun. It's a very huge dog and pony show. And I ain't talking our ever get past the big government and the people with the money and get big government. I'm talking about your local and state government. Try doing that. That if you can. Hey, Vabasser, how are you, bro? Good, good, good. Glad you're glad you're in the stream, bro. But yeah, one of the things we did also was the White Water Project, our White River Watershed Project, excuse me. Um, and we wound up voting some of them into local government, because they were good people to have in that local government. And they listened to the people. They already knew what it was like to listen to the people, and they did it. So um, that's how we. But we need to start coming together in our different states. Like like up there with Pot. He needs to get them people in Pennsylvania to start listening and start understanding, or have people as best they can. Hey, Black Sheep, how are you, bro? Um, and maybe not vote Pot in, but get someone that they could trust, things like that. It works that way. It does work that way. It's hard to do. It takes a lot of work to get it done. Y'all are saying, okay, how do I start doing this? How do I put a foot forward to this? Okay, way is just to start doing it. Start learning what you can. Um, what it takes to get voted in as a local capacity, things like that. Because some places it ain't just putting your name on a ballot. It don't happen that way. You got to. Uh, See, that's what I'm talking about. It's them words are words. You know, um, you got to prove with your actions that you can't be bought by money. Uh, we got to remember it takes a strong-willed individual for that because there's going to be people coming up there to you with hundreds of thousands of dollars at time. You know, I am glad you're in my stream, Black Sheep. It's good to see you, bro. Um, Black Sheep is a cool dude. If y'all ain't sub to him, sub to him. I know I am. There's times I sit in his stream and just listen. Things like that. And I watch his stuff. So I agree, Black Sheep. I wouldn't need it either. Uh, but it does take a strong willed individual on that. So it's got to be someone you can trust if you go to start trying to vote someone into a lower government for you. You know, you got to trust them, and they got to be tried and true. And a lot of them, and I tell you now, the people that I voted for, none of them wanted the position. They didn't care to have the position. People who are out there putting their name out saying they want a position of power, you can't trust them. Uh, a person saying that because that's all they're after is that position of power. Yes, that I agree with. If you do accept the money, use it to expose the fuckers that gave you the money and how corrupt they are and how they're trying to buy your government. I had a good friend. His name was Mike. I won't give his last name, but he got on in a council member position. Uh, um, and he did exactly that. DuPont came to him in his county official position and asked for, hey Tay, how are you doing, hon? And asked for them to not have certain restrictions put on for cleaning up their act. Mike decided and they gave him a whole bunch of money. He took the money, and then he used that to expose in local media and everything else what DuPont was trying to do. Now, here's the problem with exposing big companies like that. They don't. They do not like it, and they got very violent with Mike. And Mike had to after him being in as a county council member, he he had to go underground for about 2 years because DuPont did not like what he did to them and exposed them, and they sent people after him. So don't think that big companies that got a lot of money are kind of nice either, especially when you use their own money against them. I agree, Tay. That I was going on a rant about that. Um, yeah, so do I, Black Sheep. I got friends in some low places too. I was going on about that, Tay, and how our government is proving itself to regress back to 1776 and King George's time, and Bow is a perfect example of that. That is the most perfect example. Bow, what they did to Bow, putting him in jail with no bond for a misdemeanor because he wouldn't accept uh, conditions that would have been putting him in a cage in his own fucking living room. That is regression, not progression. And I don't know what the hell our government's thinking to let a judge go that far in regression. Uh, you cannot tell me government officials do not know about that judge and her regression. She just gave the whole state of Texas the biggest black eye I think Texas could have had, other than Leon Valley. Uh, uh, it's totally retarded and ridiculous. I I think you're right, Black Sheep. I really hope you're right. I just hope it don't get as bad as what it had to get away from King George. I pray for that every day. I don't want to see it bad like that. Um, you know, um, One of the truest statements that if you ever have you ever watched that movie with Mel Gibson, The Patriot? Uh, uh, he said, if we go to war, the war will be fought in our own front yards. It will be fought in front of our children, and everything else like that. I would hate. I don't want that to ever happen, but it is a true statement. I don't want it to ever happen. That scares me. That scares me for anybody out there. Um, but our government's not learning from history. History has proven one thing to us: when a tyrannical government comes along. Now I'm talking from the Roman Empire on up to modern day. It falls. Uh, so people, I hope our government understands that our government is not invincible. It's not. Um, and this tyranny needs to stop because I don't want to see uh, what can become of it in my lifetime, and I don't want to see my kids' kids to see it either. So, uh, I just love, I would love to see our government wake back up. I agree. That was another true statement there, Eggs. I agree. I know, Black Sheep. I got a lot of wishful thinking right there. I know it. I do. Um, it, it, that's wishful thinking. Yes, it did. It got a queen beheaded. As a matter of fact, pot that queen got beheaded. That said, let them eat cake in France. Oops. I agree, Black Sheep. I agree with you. Uh, and unfortunately, they're too busy squabbling for the scraps of Longshank's table. Let's go to a different movie and metaphor. Let's go to, again, another Mel Gibson movie and the Scottish movie where he yells out freedom at the end of it. Right now, yes, I agree, Black Sheep. And they're too busy fighting for the scraps of Longshank's table to actually come together and understand that we, the people, should govern them, not them govern us. Uh, they're trying to throw us a bone, stating, "Oh, you get to vote. Your vote counts." No, the fuck it don't, because there's a thing called the college. That college. Oh shit, brain farting right now. But it's that you know what I'm talking about, guys. Help me out here. But they're the last word. The people can the electoral college. Yeah, there's a thing called electoral college. The last word. The people can vote 100% for a person to be president. If the electoral college does not agree with it, our voice does not count. So yeah, that's bullshit. But Vassar, that's part of the reason why I came to live with my uncle when I was young and learn how to live off the land as a Native American did. It does. Still does. Some still do. I could live out in these swamps from Missouri to Florida. My dad taught me how to live in Missouri, even through the winter. My uncle taught me how to live in Florida all the way through winter and everything warmer during the winter time. And then 24/7 food. Florida, where up in Missouri, you got to sort of prep a little bit during the summertime to make it through the winter. So, uh, uh, but I could look in between easily. Um, easily. So there you have that with me. That's how I dealt with stuff myself. All right, Black. I hope you can. I'd love to see it if it's a very informative um, thing. Rising sun, you ain't kidding. They might knock us away, but they ain't gonna kill us. That's for sure. Not anytime quick, I hope. And even if they do, guess what? Our James just became immortalized. I'm glad you don't think that. I never thought a prepper was a nut job. Uh, because I grew up in a family where uh, we were poor and we didn't have no help when I was growing up. We had to survive ourselves. So anytime I ever saw someone that called themselves a quote unquote prepper, I'm like, where I grew up. Yeah, when I was up in Missouri, there was a lady I hooked up with before she passed away. She did prepping classes. She taught how to can. She taught how to what She always taught get the replantable seeds. Don't ever get seeds from DuPont or any other place because they are not, or Monsanto, excuse me, not Monsanto, because they're not replantable. They've been genetically engineered to where they can't be replanted. So get your seeds that are replantable. I got 50 pounds of seed, corn seed, from South America. It was sent to me from South America, and it's guaranteed to be replanted. And I even build on each stalk almost. And it's very drought resistant, I might add. It don't mind the heat and drought. Um, so I always suggest getting the corn seed. Go to your if you want corn, go to your local hardware store and say you want the seed from South America. Replantable. Anything. Don't these damn big companies anymore. It's going to cost you a little extra. I promise you. It's going to cost you a little extra. But in the long run, when you start being able to replant your plants, it's damn well worth getting that seed. That's the word I was looking for. Heirloom seeds. Get heirloom seeds. Like I said, it'll at first it's going to cost you a little extra, but in the long run it'll save you a ton. And most of the heirloom seeds are a hardier seed. It actually it's actually a lasts longer in different conditions of weather. It seems like to me also. And if you can't get heritage breeds of livestock, yes, because your heritage breeds don't have near the birth defects in them as some of them non-heritage breeds. Uh, so you're better off that way. The non-heritage breeds have a bad tendency if you start breeding them. That's good. That was smart. Eggs, very smart. The non-heritage breeds, if they do breed, um, a lot of them, like let's say the goats. There's a lot of non-heritage goats out there, um, and a friend of mine got some. Uh, I'd say 3/4 of the ones that were born uh, from the non-heritage mom and dad, they had a birth defect of where they would not produce milk, um, or they seem to get diseases a lot easier, things like that. So eggs is right. Get heritage breeds. It's going to be a little bit more expensive, but again, in the long run, it's better for you. It'll save you a lot of money in the long run. And they are also a hardier critter. They don't get disease near as easy as them non-heritage animals do. I tell you what, Basser, I'm in a pretty good place too. Um, I just need if I'm going to bug out. I'll need to bug out off the river, but I'm just bugging out to the swamps. Uh, I'll have nature on my side protecting me too. Water moccasins, gators, skeeters, everything else. I'm going to do just like my people did back in the day when Andrew Jackson was up their asses. Uh, 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 and all. And that, and combined with other knowledge that I have, I think I can make it in a swamp. Yes, if shit hits the fan, water and food will be the new currency. You were right. I was talking to a lady back in, that went through the Depression. Yeah, I know what you mean, but Basher, yeah, the swamp I'm going to won't even be nowhere near this river that I'm at. There's too many people. The swamp I'm going to is called Hell's Half Acre. Um, and got that name because it's Hell's Half Acre for real. But it's way more than a half acre. It's 10,000 acres of water, of watery swamp that have high spots in it. Um, uh, but if you don't know how to go through a swamp or be able to get through a swamp easily, uh, you ain't getting to where I'm going. Uh, they Hell's Half Acre got its name very well. I'll be in there with bears. I'll be in there with gators. I'll be in there with water moccasins. I'll be in there with rattlesnakes and everything else. But guess what? I know how to survive with them. uh, so I know how to get away from that stuff if I need to. Where the other people are too dumb and too far removed to know how to get through that type of swamp. Yep, and brass and a few other things I know. I won't get into talking about on the. I won't get into talking about that in the stream. but uh, but it's gonna be new currency. I was about to say this lady I knew I was talking to before she passed away. She went through the Great Depression and down here in Florida. The people in Georgia that were planting crops and having great yields of crops coming down here to Florida to trade for mullet because we had such great mullet runs up here in the from the Gulf of Mexico and also the Atlantic Ocean. And they'd come and trade with us, so we had good green vegetables and good vegetables and everything else, and they would have meat. And so and then she also told me different people had different things like people would go out into the swamps and shoot a bear. Well, bear grease renders down really good to making a grease for lanterns, an oil lantern. As a matter of fact, back in the day when we were doing major commerce back in the 1800s with England, uh, every street lamp in England was run by bear grease from the United States back in those days. So they a person would go out and shoot one or two bears and render down the grease from the bears, and then you had great oil for lanterns, things like that. And things were traded, and then you also had meat from the bear. Bear is actually very good eating if you cook it right. So Uh, hey, Pat Till, how are you, bro? Uh, I've eaten bear. I've eaten all sorts of weird shit. I've even eaten dog, guys, that knew I was eating dog. Um, so that I have eaten all sorts of manner of weird shit, for sure. Well, Rising Sun Media, when you're hungry, you won't be saying ew. You'll be saying, "Damn, that was good. I'm glad I got something on my I got something on my belly." Um, uh, like I said, I grew up very, very poor. We had to hunt for our food and things like that, and sometimes it was what we got in our trap or whatever. Um, so don't say you could never do anything, Rising Sun. Hunger makes you do things that you probably would never think you would do until you're hungry. Not trying to be mean or say say that. I live in the United States. Later eggs, you try to have a good day. Um, Bugs are full of protein, pot. I'm not trying to say you probably would hold to that. I'm not saying that, Rise of Sun, but you'll be surprised what hunger does to you. Um, when you're hungry, you'll eat a lot of things that you probably swore to God you would never eat before, um, and do a lot of things just to get it. I've seen that down there in Andrew, when Andrew came through Miami. I was down there in Miami, right after that, trying to help distribute food and ice and water and things like that. And people were down there literally starving to death. And yeah, USA is a rich country, but the problem is, on that is there's a lot of greedy fuckers in this country that keep the richness to themselves, unfortunately. um, but the first thing I saw when I went down there to Andrew, and I hate to say this, um, there was a black guy. He walked up to this white woman, and he literally blew her brains out with a 45 caliber pistol and took her and took her loaf of bread and candy bar. When they caught him, they asked him why he did that. He said, "Because my kids were hungry." Um, that's why he shot and killed her for a loaf of bread and a candy bar, because his kids were hungry. I mean, people in desperate situations do desperate things, and it's saddening. Right now, Pat, I ain't doing any work. Um, my body's screwed up to the point. I try to work, and I I sorry, Copper. My body's gotten to the point, it's screwed up to the point I can't do work. Um, uh, 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 yeah, MRE meals are cheap, Basser, but they run out. You're gonna have to learn how to survive without them. Uh, they'll run out eventually on you. So you got to keep that in mind. And yeah, they make some pretty damn good MRE meals nowadays. But again, like I said, they wind up running out. Your FBI rising, son? Well, if shit hits the fan, pant, here, uh, hey, Greg, dude, how are you? I listened to your interview, the other day. That was great shit, bro. You're good. I love it. Um, you don't talk much in the, typing, but by God, when you talk on that interview, you had a lot to say in a very short time, and it was great. Your words were precise and to the point. Thank you, great dude. Gun. And your best value of knowledge is not knowing where you're going to buy your food. Your best knowledge is to know where you can get your food without help out of the wild. Your best knowledge is going to be knowing how to make a fish trap or a um, that's very valuable knowledge for people because all these modern materials are going to disappear eventually. Uh, um, so you're going to have to learn how to do it out of nature. I can make a fish trap uh, uh, and grapevine. Try to do that for how to make a grapevine and stick fish trap. Learn how to make a snare. Uh, learn how to learn how to do all that stuff. And then what's the things you got to use to get them there? That's it, Copper. You're right. You learn all that, then you're going to be good. You're going to be fine. Uh, right now, a pound of ground beef is more expensive, Rising Sun, on most bullets. There are some bullets that are more expensive, but you can still get some bullets at about 60 cents a pop. Where a pound of ground beef is almost $2 now. So at least here in Florida, a pound of ground beef is almost $2. So, but honestly, I ain't gonna rely on a gun unless I have to use it for a defensive purpose. If the shit hits the fan, because I don't know where I'm at, and a gun's just gonna pinpoint where you're at. Hey, News Now, Canuck. Well, that Vassar, and plus they shut down 32. The our beloved Obama shut down 32 factories that made 22 bullets. That's another thing the government don't like you to know, but it is out in the paperwork. Yeah, Pot, that's the, I agree, Copper. I'm the same way. I'd rather trap a hog than buy bacon. I hunt rainbow style sometimes too, Pot. Um, I'm telling you now, you got to be careful with the shit hits the fan. You ain't gonna want to make a lot of noise where you're at because you're gonna tell everybody where you're at, and then they're gonna want to come and try to take what you got. I'm absolutely gonna rely on my skills with making a grapevine snare, Vabasser. I'm gonna rely on my abilities to make a grapevine fish trap, things like that for my food. Um, Anything that makes a pop can be heard. Got to remember that. Even though you can almost damn near silence a 22. And it only takes a baby bottle nipple to do that, by the way. Very much so, Copper. Very much so. Oh wow, that's a cool little setup. This guy's out here in a kayak with a motor, with a two horse motor going down, up and down the river. That's too cool. That's a pretty cool little setup. Yeah, the Basher, yes, the government was buying the 22s and they also shut down several factories. That's why we're still having problems getting 22 bullets now that they're done doing the buy up. Um, Still yet, you still can't buy them in the big bulks like you used to. At least around here, you can't. Um, yes, but Basher, you're right. I'll tell you another thing. A buddy of mine's got one. He got it. He's got a 38 caliber air rifle, and he hunts deer with that 38 caliber air rifle, and it's very quiet. I agree. Hold on, guys. That is one cool setup you got there, bro. That's a cool setup. I like that setup. It's awesome, bro. Yeah. Uh, I bet you that's something to take out on the golf, ain't it? Yep. Yep. I'd tell you what I'd do with that. I'd take that out duck hunting too. Awesome, awesome. See, you thinking a lot alike there. Yep. You have a great day, guys. Uh, I was talking to that guy with the setup with the motor and the kayak. He said he'd be using that for duck hunting and everything else. Yeah, yeah, you can. The 22 caliber pellets are cheap. Them 38 caliber pellets that guy was using to hunt deer with out of his air rifle. They ain't too bad either. They're pretty cheap too. They he was I think he was paying like $20 for 1,000 rounds of them. So and he was putting down deer last year with it. He got 3 deer last year with that rifle. So it's a pretty good little deal if you ask me. Uh, and it's very quiet. He shot it near me. It's very quiet. Pot, you have a great day too, bro. We'll see you again. I can't wait to go walking with you again, bro. I love being able to go walking with you. So, uh, but I think you're right on the with that 1033 project, I think it's called, where they're buying all this military shit and things like that. Them cops are and things like that. Honestly, I think it's on our doorstep. We just ain't. It ain't. They ain't knocking yet. But I think they're starting to knock, and that's what Leon Valley was about. Things like that. All right, Vabasher, we'll talk to you later, bro. You try to have a great day at work. Um, Glad you stopped in, bro. Uh, you ain't kidding, Copper. You're right on that. Uh, um, it is perfect meal size portion. That's also why I like catching fish too. You catch one or two fish and you got yourself a dinner. You don't have to overfish and just deplete the population of fish. You can catch one or two fish and you got yourself a great dinner and you're good. So that's true, Vabasher. That's true. Hey, Fallen Bomb, how are you? We were sitting here talking about uh, prepping a little bit and things like that. Having fun talking about that. And what our intentions may be. I'm doing great today, Fallen Bomb. Doing great. I The only part that I have a problem with is I'm seeing how our government is regressing instead of progressing. I do have a problem with that. Um, the government regressing is not a good thing. They've regressed as far, and that's not good. Uh, so I sort of have a bitch about that. I was telling people how I also got I'm getting prepared just in case I have to hit the woods, whatever. Snares out of grapevines and learn how to make a fish trap out of grapevines and sticks, things like that are very workable, I might add. Learned a lot of plants to eat out of the wild, things like that. I took the time to learn it though through the Native American community. I was very lucky that I have family or had family that were in the Native American community. Still have friends. Bad down here, shit up north. There's 5 times worse up there. It's insanity what you got to pay up there. All right, I'm back. You got to look at my ugly face some more. But yeah, I'm about to have to close this stream down, guys. Unfortunately, I'm running out of battery juice on this battery. I got my other battery ready to go though. I hate to say that I'm down to 13% now, so it won't be long that my phone's going to tell me it's going to shut it down anyway. Anytime, Rising Sun Media. But yeah, I would suggest to any of y'all to start looking into trying to make stuff, be able to make stuff off the land, and how to eat off of the land. Um, just in case. Uh, it's a good thing to learn. Also, don't be afraid to ask Eggs any questions. He seems to be very knowledgeable in his farming, so don't don't be afraid to ask him any questions and things. I'm sure Eggs would be more than willing to answer any questions you all have. I know I intend to ask him a few more questions myself. So, tag, you're it, Eggs. Thank you, Red River. I I worry about my friends here. The more knowledge you have, the more you're able to survive. Um, so and I would love to see my friends survive this if it ever comes to shit hitting the fan. Um, I I just don't want to see anybody going to they didn't know how to survive. You know what I mean? And right now we got the internet. Right now we got everything. So I I don't do anything. Anything really falling bomb. I just try to give people a little bit of knowledge. One thing I was told when I was younger by my uncle, he says, "Now you got this knowledge." He said, "Don't keep it in your pocket." He said, "Pass that knowledge on freely. Don't try to make money from it because you may forget it." Um, so that's what I try to do. My uncle taught me that. I try to give my knowledge freely. I try to give everything I can do freely, um, because that's the way I was taught, and I don't want to forget what I've learned. And I know what it means when you start getting into money. Money corrupts you, and money will corrupt you. Money will get you to where you worry about other things instead of what you should be worried about in the long run. So that's the way I took that. Yes, you all are. Well, Genty, unfortunately, he got off about time for me to have to end this stream. My phone's about to tell me it's time to shut down. I got uh, I got 10% left, guys. Uh, uh, but um, but yeah, any knowledge that you have, give it freely. Don't try to make money off of it. I've seen many people who tried to make money off of it, and they wound up forgetting what they learned. Yeah, great dude. I'll get some grapevine together, and I'll show y'all how to make a grapevine and stick fish trap, things like that. Yeah, I can try to do that. I'll try to show y'all at least here where I'm at, edible plants and things like that. As a matter of fact, right outside my window, there's a tree that I can use for coffee. It's got more caffeine in it than a cup of coffee does when you make a drink out of it. So Lee Cassini does, and chocked full of caffeine. Uh, but yeah, I'll try that, Gray dude. I'll gladly show y'all something. Also, we got the internet right now. Take time and learn different things from different people too that have it out there on the internet. There's a lot of stuff to be learned out there, and why we still got it, we might as well use it. Uh, I guarantee you, with these censoring laws that are going to start being passed in the United States, that's one thing they're going to censor and they're going to take away from us is the ability to teach each other how to survive. Um, without our ability to survive, they can't control us. Yeah, Gen on the phone, no, never, so I honestly believe that will be. I believe that's one thing when they start censoring the internet. They'll try to censor on us because with the ability to survive out in the wild, they have no control over us. Um, and that's what they want. They want total control and domination over us. So keep that in mind. Learn what you can, how you can, and when you can. Okay. I'll do my best to teach y'all some of the stuff I know. Damn. And I thought $3.75 here was bad. Damn. Whew. That's insanity, bro. But all right, guys. Yeah, learn what you can, where you can, when you can. Keep that in mind, guys. Learn what you can, where you can, when you can. Um, it's great sage advice. It was given to me by my grandpa. He always told me that. Learn what you can, where you can, when you can. You can too, right? But for now, I'm going to have to get out of here because my phone now has 2% on it and I need to change batteries. I will talk to y'all later. You try to have a great day and hope God blesses you. And I hope you take my advice. Uh, Always teach it, Red River. You're right. But I'm out, guys. I'll talk to you later.